So my people, Nigerians don't they give Bola Ahmed Tinubu woto for this travel way can himself go Saudi Arabia. Nigeria is on fire. Tinubu has no solution to what is happening. He don't know what to do, including these new terrorists who just appear. And they say these people now, they are more dangerous than Boko Haram. And he has no solution to what is happening. My people, Nigeria come out now, come they tell Mr. President to sit down to solve the problem of hardship and suffering he created in Nigeria. So let us watch this video and hear what Rufai and Dr. Abati said concerning this travel. You know that Rufai is always on point without fear or favor in setting the record straight. Watch this video to the end and drop your opinion in the comment section. And do not forget to like and share.
Let's begin what's trending, with reactions trailing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's visit to Saudi Arabia to attend the Joint Arab Islamic Summit. The president departed the country on Sunday at the invitation of King Salman and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. In a statement by the special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the meeting is expected to address a number of critical regional issues, with particular emphasis on the ongoing Israel-Palestinian conflict. The statement reads in part: during the summit, President Tinubu is expected to address the ongoing Israel-Palestinian conflict, emphasizing Nigeria's strong call for an immediate ceasefire and the urgent need for a peaceful resolution. Nigeria will also advocate for renewed efforts to revive the two-state solution as a pathway to lasting peace in the region. All right, let's take some reactions, because Nigerians, I think this is an issue that has been in the front burner for a while now, even during the military era. Dr. Abati, correct me if I am wrong, and it's one of the reasons why the de facto vice president of General Babangida, is it Ubuti Ukiwe? He had actually stepped down because of this particular issue, whether or not Nigeria is a secular state. Now, this is a fine. He wrote, Nigeria is a secular state. At least the Constitution says so. Nigeria is not in the Middle East. So why exactly was invitation extended to Mr. President? If the situation was reversed, I can bet everything that our brethren from the other side will not take it lightly. Well, I believe Angela, this is a balanced tweet here. Angela wrote, Nigeria with a compelling Muslim demography must be at the summit. Again, being a member of the OIC, her presence is not only desirous, but desirable. I congratulate President Tinubu for his state arrival and wish Nigeria, Palestine, and Muslim world a fruitful deliberation. Well, there was another, I believe, tweet that Bayo Onanuga had posted with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's entourage there, if we can pull up that tweet. And then he had written that, the president was received, I believe, by the deputy governor of Riyadh region. Also, listed some reactions. Dr. Abati.
What is on in diplomatic relations is that presidents are received by their equals.
Yes.
Or they are received by high-ranking members of the government. When we were in government, some of the people who received presidents were ministers, ranking ministers. But for a deputy governor of a region to go and receive the president of Nigeria, there's probably a breach of protocol there. But the call is for our Ministry of Foreign Affairs to have handled this better. But we don't know the ranking of that deputy governor of Riyadh. Now, that's number one. Number two is that the people who are saying, oh, Nigeria should not be part of an Arab Islamic summit. Well, we're back to 1986.
Yeah.
In 1986, when the Babangida administration decided to take us to the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC, it was the same argument. People quoting Section 10 of the Constitution, which says that Nigeria, shall not adopt any religion as a state religion. However, the thing to realize is that in an emerging multipolar world, Africa is the last frontier. Many of these countries, whether it's from the Arab world, or it's Japan, or it's Iran, or it's the countries in Asia, or even Russia, they are looking for African countries in terms of cooperation. Now, the issue there, either in OIC or in the Arab Africa Summit, which President Tinubu attended, and now he's attending the Arab Islamic Summit. It's not about religion. It's about cooperation. In a world that is becoming digital, in a world where there are issues that tie us together as a common humanity, climate change, oil and gas, and all of that. So education, technology, healthcare, these are the things that they discuss at some of these fora. It's not that they are going there to go and promote Islamic religion or Christian religion. I think our people need to be properly educated in that regard. Number 3, of course, is that the president is the chief foreign policy officer of the country. And that's why when he travels, people may complain about the frequency of the travels, about 29 times since he assumed office 19 months ago. But foreign policy is part of his assignment. And he has taken the step to reduce the objections by saying that he has reduced the size of his entourage. They're going to an Arab Islamic summit. I don't think they are going there with an agenda of religion. It's about cooperation. Right. And the world is cooperating. Even Russia is pledging total support to countries in Africa. It's not about anything other than trying to, take advantage of whatever opportunities are available internationally.
All right, Dr. Abati, you mentioned frequency. 29 times he's gone abroad. I mean, that is the frustration. When I look at reactions on social media, a lot of Nigerians have said, okay, please stay at home. There's huge insecurity in the land at this moment, and I saw a lot of reactions regarding that. If I come to you, Rufai, in the meantime, a counter-insurgency publication, Zagazola Makama, focused on the Lake Chad region, reported over the weekend that members of a new terrorist group, Lakurama, are offering financial incentives to recruit young people in Sokoto State. According to the publication, the new group is offering as much as 1 million naira to young men in exchange for their allegiance. Makama quoted sources saying that the financial initiatives are part of an aggressive recruitment campaign aimed at attracting followers to their cause. The group are reported to adhere to extremist ideologies similar to the beliefs of Boko Haram. Well, we know that over the weekend, the group had killed about 15 people in Kebbi State. Defense headquarters recently declared 9 suspected members of the group wanted. I believe the spokesperson, Edward Buba, had said that, the terrorists were from the Niger Republic, and they came from that time when there was that sort of disruption between Nigeria and Niger. Let me take a reaction with this story. This is from Chief Emmanuel, who wrote, "This development is deeply concerning and highlights an urgent need for a coordinated response to counter extremism in Nigeria's northwest. The Lakurawa group's tactic of offering substantial financial incentives to economically vulnerable youth in Sokoto directly targets those who may feel they have few options. This, combined with extremist ideology, poses a serious threat to stability in the region. The presence of individuals reportedly from Mali, Chad, Libya, Niger, and Burkina Faso indicates a transnational dimension to this group, transforming it into a regional security issue. Extremist groups like Lakurawa exploit local grievances such as economic hardship and lack of opportunities to attract recruits, often creating a dangerous sense of belonging for disenfranchised young people. Relevant agencies like the Nigerian Army, Nigerian Police Force, the Department of State Services must increase surveillance and intelligent efforts to monitor and counter this threat. Additionally, agencies focused on economic development, such as Nigerian Youth Investment Fund, can collaborate to offer alternative pathways through job creation, education, and skill development programs. This joint approach, combining security with socio-economic intervention, can help protect communities from exploitation by extremist groups. I thought that was such an important message from that Twitter user, especially the last part, where he talked about, the collaboration of trying to have this sort of, initiative where you can engage young people in skill work.
Okay, so a couple of things. I'll merge two stories together. I mean, the great Ochaya, Okiwe, was apt in his rebuttal then. And Okiwe is one of those rare men in Nigeria that decided to say, power doesn't mean so much or the hand to me. If it does go in line with my convictions, I will leave. And he left being, the number 2 man in this country, the great Ochaya. Truth is, it must get to a time, and let's dial back as regards the OIC. It started because of the Al-Hassa fire that happened when Muslim in Jerusalem and the Muslim region said, the Muslim country said, let's have a force, a speaking force.
Yeah.
And they brought, or they coupled a couple of these nations together, Muslim majority nations. Some African countries also joined. But my big question is, why is Africa constantly always being the one to carry the begging bowl around to join almost everything? Nigeria is a secular nation. Let's never forget that, and that's my argument. Yes, they might do a lot in terms of collaboration, trade, and partnership and all of that. But as the name implies, nations that have majority Muslims. And it looks as an optics that is not fair on the other people in Nigeria that are of other faiths. It's just like Nigeria joining the World Christian Association. There's an imbalance there. So please, let us also set that straight. And Africa should stop being the begging bowl. As regards President Tinubu and the vice, governor of the Riyadh region, this was the same Nigeria that when our prime minister went visiting Tafawa Balewa in the 60s in America, it was the vice president of America that came to receive him in the airport. Compare and contrast those time and now. It shows that Nigeria is losing something on the international scene. As regards this terrorist group, Oji, for this terrorist group to even bring out, say they want to give people 1 million naira, then there are people funding them. What has the government done to at first block the financial muscle of this group? For every bullet shot, people are buying those bullets. So the government should be able to come in with intelligence, NFIU and the likes to see who are those funding this group. Secondly, use intelligence and drones and everything to swoop in on them.
Absolutely.
Thirdly, the economic condition. After the Metisani riots, it was said that if we don't fix the economic condition of the north and some other areas, then we're going to have long-lasting problems. Those problems have come home to roost now. Hernando de Soto famously wrote about the Ministry of Capital. It was Hernando de Soto's suggestion that helped end most of the war in his native Peru. He said, give property rights and give economic empowerment to the people of a certain area, and the role of insurgent group will stop. Because these people too, we have foot soldiers in those communities because of the economic empowerment. Absolutely. So how can we turn that around? The last tweet has talked about things like empowerment schemes in those areas.
Yes.
So let's work on this, but most importantly, let's find the money. When a revelation was made in Dubai, I regard people that were funding some terrorist group in Nigeria, till today, those people have not been brought to book. So we must be able to stop the money trail so that groups like this do not become a problem, because it's fast becoming a problem, and this situation is muffing and muffing.
I mean, for me, Vimba, is the brazen disregard for our security forces. These people are out there in broad daylight. I tried to send the video to our, correspondent in the north, and they said they were not speaking Hausa, they were speaking Fufude. And, it's quite rare to see people just out there. What is the location? Why is it possible for them to be able to do this? Before I start, come to you in the meantime, the Sokoto State Police Command has confirmed the arrest and jailing of a woman, Hamdiya Sidi, who was accused of embarrassing the state governor, Ahmad Aliyu, on social media. Sidi was said to have condemned insecurity in the state and demanded action against bandits and incessant killings in a video posted on social media. She also highlighted the takeover of villages and houses being burnt to the ground. Sidi was reported to have been secretly arraigned without access to a lawyer or family members last week, and is being persecuted for inciting unrest in the state. Vimbai.
This is so heartbreaking because Sokoto State should be using these resources to counter the insurgency that has emerged in their state. Now, I was reading a report that was released by Vanguard, and Vanguard says that this Lukarawa terrorist group is not new. They say that the Sokoto State DSS has been aware of them since 2018. What was done with that information? Only God knows. But now you see people who are coming out to social media to try and create some sort of awareness, and then this is how you treat them. But I want to dial back very quickly. I know Dr. Abati made a very valid point about the fact that the president is our chief foreign policy officer. Now, it's concerning to see that at the moment our foreign policy seems to be, is addressing the Middle East crisis. However, when you look at groups like Lukarawa specifically, and the fact that they're coming from Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, these are countries that are former ECOWAS members that Nigeria has had a spat with. So it's concerning because it feels like we should be addressing regional issues. Our foreign policy right now should be prioritizing our relationships with our neighbors, where these groups are now infiltrating from and emerging. Now, the next big concern with regards to this terrorist group and this insecurity currently in Sokoto State is that when you read about this group, OG, they're focusing more on indoctrinating young people than actually creating violence. So besides the cash reward that you mentioned, or rather the cash incentive that you mentioned, what they're doing is they're focusing on trying to brainwash young people. They're saying that you should not, you're not allowed to carry a beard. They're saying that you're not allowed to listen to music. And if you're caught doing those things, then you are punished severely in those various local government areas. So this goes back, everything is connected. It still goes back to the issue we discussed last week. Young people who are arraigned for protesting are sent back to their villages, to their local government areas with 100,000 naira and smartphones. Well, now the terrorists are coming and saying, oh, okay, 100,000, we can do better. Give them 1 million. We haven't solved any problems. We haven't solved any problems. So in all of this, I know Saudi Arabia has launched a fund that they've pledged that they'll invest $40 billion to sub-Saharan Africa in the next few years. So I understand the importance of Nigeria traveling abroad to engage with various people to try and attract much needed foreign investment. However, right now, our foreign policy direction looks like it needs to focus on our immediate neighbors to quell some of this.
Absolutely. Well said.
Two quick points.
Well said.
Very briefly. Now, even that foreign policy process is to be reviewed. That's what the experts are saying. The Afrocentric approach, the Father Christmas approach of our foreign policy. That's the big, academic point there. Now, the two things that I would just like to put on the table. When Commodore Abitu Ikiwe left the Babangida administration, he didn't resign. He was removed. So that should be underscored. But the point is that he opposed Nigeria joining the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Number two, another point of history, there was the Yom Kippur War in 1967. There was also the Yom Kippur War again in 1973. Now, Nigeria severed relationship with Israel in 1973. Now, what happened? When Nigeria under Babangida now joined OIC, Christians, so there was a lot of religious sentiment. Now, how will you turn against Israel, where we go for Christian pilgrimage, and you go and join OIC? So there was that religious sentiment at that time. And Nigeria did not restore relations with Israel until September 1992. So these are historical facts that may guide those who are saying this is about Islam.
All right. Well, this new terrorist group, Lukarawa, I mean, it's an emerging story, and for them to compare it like the people from Boko Haram is just really, really scary. Where we've been talking about the fact that Boko Haram is almost decimated, and now we are seeing a new group forming now. Again, they said that they killed 15 people in Kebbi State over the weekend. May their souls rest in peace.
For watching. Bye.